All right, so we have got some new camera gear I've been testing lately. This is the Shimbol 1000 wireless video transmission system. Let's get right into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something pretty special. I've been dying to get into the wireless transmission space for a really long time, and when Shimbol reached out with their ZO Link series, I definitely had to jump on it. So if you're not familiar with what a video transmission system is, it's pretty simple. It works the same as, say, a wireless mic system. You have a transmitter, which connects to your audio source or your video source. In this case, that would be my FX3. And then you have a receiver, which would plug into, say, a monitor like this. And by doing so, you can transmit the video signal directly to this monitor wirelessly. Not only that, but the Shimbol system allows you to transmit directly to an app. So an iPad, an iPhone, using the Shimbol application. Again, this is really cool, but for a lot of you that haven't seen my channel before, I do a lot of product reviews, but recently I've been doing a ton of reviews on my Tesla Model Y. It hits that perfect spot between travel and tech, and for me, filming inside the vehicle, sometimes I've got the camera outside filming from a different angle, and having these wireless transmission systems has been awesome because I can have the monitor inside my car while I film. So let's talk about the system itself. I've actually been testing this for quite some time. And again, another thing to mention, for a lot of you out there watching, I actually test all of the products that come in. So it usually takes me longer to get a product review out after a company sends me something because I want to thoroughly use it. I want to test it. I want to troubleshoot it. And to make sure there aren't any issues or nuances you should know about before I make a review, telling you whether or not I think you should buy or not buy a product. So having spent a ton of time with the Shimbol and testing it, I'm feeling pretty confident to talk about it right now. So let's talk about what comes in the box. Obviously, this is the box right here. This is a Shimbol 1000. This thing is really cool, well packaged. Again, this is a great looking and feeling product. Packaging is pretty premium. You've got instructions in here, but let me tell you, setup is so simple. Barely had to look at any of that stuff. And now let's talk about the unit. So what we've got here is the transmitter. I'll give you a closer look. Yep, and here's the transmitter. And what you'll notice, this piece does not come along with it. This is just an adapter from SmallRig that lets me mount it to the hot shoe on top of my FX3. But this is the transmitter right here. It is very small, and honestly, I think it looks great. So we'll talk about both of these. They look exactly the same. One says transmitter on it, one says receiver on it, so you don't get confused. But if we take a look, the all-metal construction is probably one of my favorite things. I will say this is a budget option. The price range for this is like $500 or something, which is insane for a wireless transmission system that works as well as this. So again, build quality, you've got an all metal construction, you've got a glass LED display, which gives you the information. You have an HDMI port, you have an SDI port, and then in the back, this is where you place the battery. And what I really like about the Shimbol is it already uses the batteries I have. So what I've got is an NP F550 here. This is like the smaller model. It clicks right into place, so take a look at that. That's really nice. And again, this thing does not use a lot of power, so I feel good using these smaller batteries. I also have the NPF like 970s, which are massive. I use that to power my lights, and I'll use it to power my wireless monitor. But these smaller batteries I found have been great. Same goes for the receiver here. I've just plugged in another NP550 in here. I've got a 2-pack. I might order some more. These things have been so great. I just want some batteries around. But with them both on, you can take a look here. They are really compact. And I love that when I mount it on top of my FX3, it still keeps the whole setup relatively small, and I'm pretty happy with it. And then one other thing you'll notice is we've got the antenna on top. Again, they rotate, they pivot up straight, down, depending on whatever you need to get the right signal. So let's talk about how these work. Honestly, these things work so great. Take a look here. What you've got is power switches on both sides, just a quick click. And once you turn them on, they automatically pair. I use a short HDMI cable. I just don't like extra cables dangling around. I will mount it to the top of my FX3, and I will plug this into the HDMI out of my FX3 and turn this on. Then I will take the transmitter. Same thing, I'll just demonstrate here, at least with the transmitter, you can just see me do it, is I will take this, I will mount that directly into the HDMI in for my wireless monitor, and then I will turn this on and turn on my wireless monitor. And that's really it. You don't have to do any initial setup. Once you turn the transmitter and the receiver on, they automatically pair. They automatically start pumping out a signal directly to the monitor or any device you decide to pair with that transmitter, and it works right away. That's probably the thing that I love most about this system is there was no setup. You just put batteries in, you plug it in, just like you would directly to a monitor or any type of output, and it works. Latency is incredible. So again, I use it to film these talking head style videos, to film some of the filming in my car, and it is so quick. It's almost real time. Obviously, there's always a slight bit of latency, but it is unnoticeable for most people. And for me, when I'm filming in the car and looking at the camera out there, I can barely tell if there's any latency at all. It is good enough to use for any type of filming scenario. So one thing that I will say that I didn't really test was the 1,000-foot range. I rarely, if ever, have to shoot that far away from my camera for anything, but I will be sure to give that a shot at some point. I'll come up with a use case. But so far in my normal day-to-day use, absolutely no problem with range through walls, through floors, in the car, outside of the car. Really have had no problem at all. And again, the signal comes in crystal clear. With all of that said, I am really happy with this particular setup. One, because it's so simple. It is really plug and play, works with the batteries that exist, and it's kind of a no frills option. And that's why the price point is so good. I think again, for under $500 or somewhere around that range, depending on the discounts that Shimbol runs. They do some really great promotions. They also do great giveaways. But for that, this thing works. You plug it in, you get a signal, you've got wireless monitoring wherever you want. If you do professional work, I don't, but if you have clients or other people that need to watch a monitor, this is a great option for that, and it's not going to break the bank. Now, for me as a content creator who needs a wireless option every now and then, this has been perfect. And for this price point, it wouldn't feel like I've wasted any money because I'm going to get some really good use out of it. I probably spent a lot more on random things before, but this has been a very functional and useful addition to my camera kit. So here's the monitor. You can see that we've got a live signal here. There's barely any latency. I mean, you can't tell, but I'm telling you, there's barely any latency from the signal that's happening. And then again, the nice thing is this is a crystal clear image. So getting the app is relatively simple. You download it, and once that's done, you just pair it with a transmitter, and the transmitter can push that signal from my FX3 directly to this iPad mini or my 12.9-inch iPad, whichever viewing experience you want. And it's really nice because I don't always have to bring my receiver and my monitor to a shoot. I can just bring the transmitter and my camera, one of my iPads, which are relatively thin, and we are good to go on wireless transmission. So with that said, I'm really happy with the Shimbol. All of the testing has been great. I mean, it's plug and play. I think that's the thing that I love about it. It's kind of no frills. It works the way it works. It's really robust. This all metal construction makes me feel really good about dropping it. Not that I would drop it, but it feels like it's going to hold up just as well as my FX3, which is built out of a solid brick of aluminum. So I'm really happy with this. So far, no complaints. I would highly recommend for, say, professionals getting into wireless transmission systems or content creators like myself who want a wireless transmission system for something that don't need to spend $1,000, $2,000 or more for a full wireless video transmission set. This has been really, really great. And also Shimbol has a bunch of other options, I think, that come in at different price points. Some just transmit directly to apps. Some are monitors with receivers built in. So with that said, I would check out their website. I will leave a link in the description below. If you guys like this content, hit that like button, subscribe for more just like this. I'll catch y'all in the next one.